So let's talk about Christmas Evil, which is a movie I just watched for the first time. It came out in 1980, and it's one of the earlier 1980 slashers, which it is a slasher, but really in the loosest of terms. Like, watching this, I thought there's a reason why this one isn't very remembered in terms of like the slasher craze. Like, this came out right whenever Friday the 13th came out. Even on the poster, which will be shown on my thumbnail, it said like, you've seen Halloween, you've seen Friday the 13th, now you can see Christmas Evil, which is a cool title. Like, I really love that title. Christmas Evil is such a cool title. It's just like how New Year's Eve, like the New Year's Eve horror movie New Year's Evil, like that's such a cool title too. But I really just wanted to see it on that fact. Like, I thought it would be a fun slasher, and watching it, honestly, like, I thought it was in a lot of ways forgettable. It it really is in a way just a poor man's version of like Silent Night, Deadly Night, which I think is way better and way more fun. This one is fun in some parts, but it really, I'll give it this. It does have good things about it. I thought that the Santa pictures, like in terms of like this character, Harry, this character becomes traumatized because he sees his mother and his father, who's dressed up as Santa Claus, like messing around, and he becomes messed up about it, and he has like all this Christmas oriented stuff is all around him all the time. His house is full of Christmas gear, and his work. He works at this Christmas place, and this Christmas factory, and all these images of Santa Claus. I thought they did a cool job in how they made Santa Claus look really creepy in a lot of these pictures that are around him. So it's kind of like, in a way, like its presence is always with him. Like, that was a cool thing about this movie, and that the Santa imagery is pretty creepy and pretty scary. Like, I was surprised in how these images of Santa, and they are like that, or especially 80s and 90s, they have a lot of Christmas images where like they're unintentionally creepy looking, and they do a good job of putting unintentionally creepy Santa pictures and images. There's one where like there's a picture of Santa Claus looking down on him, and it's like he's got really big eyes, and it looks really scary. So the imagery is cool, like the actual pictures and Christmas decor, like it makes it creepy. But in a way, I would say this is the poor man's Silent Night, Deadly Night, because it has this character, Harry, become a killer dressed as Santa Claus, but like it's such a cheap way, as opposed to Silent Night, Deadly Night, which took its time and was actually interesting and fun, with like how Billy in that movie, he becomes a killer because he sees his parents, like whenever he's like 5, like he sees his mom and dad get killed by a Santa Claus, and then he gets abused by his mother superior in Silent Night, Deadly Night, and then as the movie goes along, it builds up perfectly to show how crazy this guy goes. And in this one, Harry just literally, he sees his parents messing around, dad's in a Santa suit, and then at the factory, these people like are mean to him, and not in a way where it's like they're not really super mean, but that sets him off. But it just doesn't seem very realistic, and it's stupid to say realistic in a movie like this, but like Silent Night, Deadly Night took its time and actually made this character give like a real reason why this character became crazy. Like in this one, all he did was he sees his parents messing around, and then his workers don't like him, and that sets him off. I just thought that it wasn't as good of like a build up to that. Like, I didn't feel like there was any thought bought into build up for it. And I thought it was hilarious that the place he worked at is called Jolly Dream. If that isn't a weird ass name, like that was hilarious. Like he works at a place called Jolly Dream, which is a Christmas factory. But I don't know, like it's very bare bones. Like he becomes Killer Santa, goes, kills a couple people, especially the people who made fun of him, And then by the end, his outer family tries to stop him. And that's basically the story. Like, there's not really much personality to it either. Like, the guy who plays Harry is fine. He's just not really super creepy. He's just fine. It's more the music that makes him creepy than, like, his performance. Like, his performance is totally fine, but it's not creepy. It's not like, say, I watched Dead of Night recently, or Death Dream is the other name for it, but that 70s movie where this Vietnam guy died and then he mysteriously appears with his family. Like, he comes back home and mysteriously appears even though he's supposed to be dead, and that guy is really creepy. And that was a good example of something that I just saw recently that was pretty creepy. But this one, this actor is totally fine, but it's not like he's very effective. It's the score that's more creepy, and the score is kind of bare bonesy too. Like, they really tried to make this just immediately, like, right when Halloween came out and Friday the 13th came out. They immediately made this movie just to bank on it. Like every studio did whenever Friday the 13th came out and slashers became such a gigantic craze. And I'm not going to spoil it, but the last, like, 10 seconds honestly made the movie for me. Because the movie is kind of boring and kind of uninteresting because it's done better in a lot of other things, like Silent Night, Deadly Night, in terms of entertainment. And in this one, the very end, which I won't spoil here, I want you guys to see the ending, but it just, I lose it because it's so goofy and it's so random, and I'm just like, what? Okay. That was weird. What the fuck? Okay. But I like that because it made it have a little bit of a memorable thing about this movie, because the movie is pretty unmemorable besides that. Like I said, Silent Night, Deadly Night does it way better. This one just was pretty average, pretty adequate. Not the worst thing ever, but it's definitely pretty forgettable.